W. We're going to find out, though, if they're able to make that happen against the mid-Ogre Magi, as we have Game 2 of Nouns versus Tundra Esports. We have MLP and John. So, gentlemen, take it away to decide who goes into the upper bracket.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going into game number 2 here between Nouns and, of course, Tundra. And as I say, that skiter already being scouted out here by Nouns. It is MLP Dota and John X5. John, welcome back. So obviously 2 brand new drafts coming out from these 2 sides. I know you're very happy to see the mid-Ogre coming out again here from Gunner. What are you thinking, John? What are you thinking about these two teams here in game 2?
I don't know what Nouns are cooking up, but I like it. I don't understand it. I don't know if this is going to cook really well. I don't know if this is going to be well done, but I like seeing this. We saw Gunner pull this out. We were doubting it in the group stage early on, and it worked out, and he's doing it again. The matchup is, on paper, pretty bad. Like, Ogre Magi dominates melee matchups, ranged matchups, not as much. Already has a Bloodlust level. We'll see what they cook up. I think it's easier to play Tundra's draft. I think you've got this wombo combo with Faces Void, but if you do play tempo on Nouns and, catch them while those cooldowns are down, you can feel pretty good. I'm just keen to see what Gunner does. Really, that's the big question mark. I was listening to the panel. There were a lot of question marks about the Ogre. Winter said if he doesn't understand it, it's going to win, It's so interesting take from Winter, as always, looking like a rock star.
That's why we paint the big bucks.
Yeah, exactly it. So, I don't know. I'm just excited to see this one break out. No expectations. I have no clue if we'll get game 3 at all.
Oh, for now, Gunner's at least getting very aggressive here against Topson, and that's kind of the thing you can abuse with the Bloodlust. Just chase down the Invoker. You see, Topson may have an advantage later on. We'll have to wait and see. See how Gunner does deal with this. Obviously, picking it up, he must have felt somewhat confident in his ability to still have a lot of impact from this mid lane. We should have a look at the side lanes as well while we still have a chance. Of course, bottom lane, you've got 33 and 9 against K1 and Yamsun. This bottom lane could be quite difficult for Tundra up until they get those couple levels up in Iron Shell. But once you hit level 3 on 33, chances are you're probably just going to start skipping creep waves or even getting aggressive with the double Iron Shells and the roll in from 9.
Yeah, there's a lot of good aggressive potential here from Tundra. I like this change up for them in the lanes. It just feels like they have a lot more play in comparison to the last game where it felt a lot slower. They were just aiming for farm. This one can aim for some aggression once the levels are up, as you mentioned. I think committing too hard onto a CK can be a little bit dicey if the dice roll works in their favor. By the time you get a level 2 Chaos Strike, CK can just kind of turn around, especially at even a level 2 Iron Shell. Might be something that K1 can sit through if his positioning and his crits are just right. So we'll see. Up top, of course, we've got Sneyking on the Warlock, along with Skiter on Faces Void up against Moo, and Lullis on the Brewmaster and the Dark Willow. And this one is also a little bit, it's a bit more passive for Tundra. There is a way to play aggressive, but normally when you have a Warlock plus Void, you're just aim to shove out wave, farm, and just kind of apply some harassment. The Fatal Bonds is fairly annoying for Moo. And that is one thing that holds you back. Like, just constant wave shoving from Sneyking doesn't make it pretty hard for you to sustain true. On the Brewmaster here, there's only so much Lullis can get done by himself. And they can connect at some point. Like, you have a decent way of trying to play around Cinder Brew and the Clap. And you have some decent area of control. But trying to gap close into the Warlock is a rather big chore early on with a Fatal Bond spam.
Certainly is. Never easy going up against this Warlock support, that's for sure. This bottom lane, a bit of trading happening here between K1 and 9. K1 will be okay to walk away. The 33 almost at that stage now where he hits level 3, and that's when they can start to be a little bit more aggressive here against the bottom lane of Nouns. Yeah, so trying his best to harass 33 as much as humanly possible before you hit that stage. You had the level 2 Iron Shell, but it is going to come eventually. And of course, 33, he's played this Dark Seed many, many times. As 9 actually walking right past K1's Courier. Didn't really realize, I think, because he was trying to go towards a Lotus Pool. So still gets the Courier, but misses out on getting rid of the item from the Courier for a couple minutes.
Yep. Not the biggest loss. Anything that helps Hector, of course, feels good, but I don't think the dynamic of the lane changes to the belt. Although, again, that does give him a little bit of leeway to try to play for the crits, try to survive that double Iron Shell. That is kind of ready to go at level 2 now for 2T3. I think it's interesting to take a look back at that mid, because you are seeing Gunner dominate that lane in terms of CS. 15-9 compared to Topson at 13-4. It's not all doom and gloom for Topson. He is winning out and trading for regen, trading for HP, but Gunner's not falling behind here. So at the least in the lane that we expected to be pretty rough for Ogre, he is still finding some farm here for Gunner.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he gets the bottle refills, he should be just fine to remain within this lane, and that he will with the water runes, and we'll see with the power runes. So bottom lane, bit of a chase here onto Darkseer, 33. He does have Surge available. They are still chasing him down, though, and 33 just goes down.
Oh.
Never mind. K1. He'll move in on to 9 as well. 9, a bit of a sitting duck without any role available. Does get Yamsun, but he does give his own life away to K1, and that'll be a very strong start for the CK. Double kill to get K1's game started.
And that's what we were talking about, right? Like, even if you hit that double Iron Shell level 2 timing, CK, if he gets a couple of crits, he's going to survive through. He's going to get a lot of damage out. You're not the most durable in that duo in terms of, like, armor. So you can't just rip you apart once he gets the reality rift off as well. And that's an excellent start for the CK. The K1's going to have a good timing into his armlet, then he's just, with a respawn on Yamsun, he just instantly gets aggressive as well.
K1 again trying to get aggressive here with Yamsun, doing fantastic work onto 33, just doing so much damage, not allowing him to just abuse the Iron Shells like as he wants to. So it seems like 33 is already just going to rotate into his own triangle and just farm that up instead. Why the hell not? Like, you're just not at a stage where you can just dominate this lane or skip the lane. K1 just having too good of a time now on the CK, almost level 5 in fact, so definitely kind of a bit too challenging to lane now as the Darkseer.
Yeah, and this is also something that will play along as the game goes on, but if you think about the draft of Nouns, like, you can try to play a farming game with Tundra. The issue is, as this game goes on, Nouns will get tanky. Like, you've got Brewmaster, you've got Ogre, you've got a CK, you've got a Phoenix that can try to heal you from the back line. All of these heroes, well, maybe not the Brewmaster rushing a heart, but most of these heroes will go for some durability item that expands their HP, which plays into that Sunray heal. And there's just no burst on Tundra, at least not until you get, like, Cataclysm, Fatal Bonds, and Chrono. That could be the bursting play, but that takes so much farm. And we've seen the timings on these heroes rushing hearts. It doesn't take too long in the game if you get a little bit of space out, if you get a little bit of dead time to get a couple of hearts going. I think for Tundra, that puts a little bit of pressure to try to play early. You know, while these heroes aren't that tanky yet, you've got to play with your damage.
Top lane, dropping low. We'll be all right, though. We'll be able to walk away and still have a Lotus available to use up. Bottom lane, in the meantime, K1 getting a little bit aggressive. Does have to back himself out as he was getting a little bit low to the Iron Shell on 9. Meanwhile, mid lane, by the way, Topson, he has overtaken quite easily here against the Ogre now. He forced Gunner out of the lane earlier and forced him all the way back to the fountain, and now you're at that level 6 mark for the Invoker. Now you're farming very effectively. And I believe this is the stage where Gunner's not going to have the greatest time, just having his mana constantly drained by Topson. It's top lane, Skiter actually going to try and fight for the Wisdom Rune himself. Lelis going to try and fight for it, but Skiter, he does manage to pick it up. In comes Mu, though. They're going to try and punish Skiter. He does not have Time Walk for about 13 seconds, so he's going to go for the TP attempt away, and they will not have the damage. Very nice TP from Skiter, barely surviving, even finding the Wisdom Rune he desperately wanted.
Yeah, it does keep them equal here in the Wisdom Runes, as he did manage to have Yamsun snag one away, so not too bad for Nouns. It's much more important for Tundra to find that one. It does put Skiter in a pretty awkward position with not too much HP. Sneyking doesn't have Shadow Root, so it's going to be manual feeds with the Tango. And that should shove him away from the lane. Some pressure coming out from Nouns with a rotation up from Yamsun as well. So they're looking to just secure a tier 1 tower. You're at the point in the game where you can't leave your CK alone. Hector is just farming bot in the jungle with a Phantasm already being popped earlier. So you've got some room to play around the map, and they're just wanting to try to keep Skiter down. This is the one thing with the Faceless Void. It's not going to farm as fast as the CK. It's trying to go for the Midas, so every single delay you can pull out from Nouns, every single point of pressure does help.
Moo's just trying to be so more mid lane rather than Gunner. He's in big danger now. The Ogre going to go down off the back of the rotation from 9. Topson able to get the kill as 9 now, may give his own life away for this, but he is still alive, able to roll away. Yamsun's now the one in danger. He cops the cold snap with the urn charges, and he is down. A double kill for Topson. More urn charges to come for the Invoker, and well, this is really just the perfect start here for Topson.
Yeah, and this is how the draft has to play. They've got to connect to this Invoker. You've got a Faceless Void and the Dark Seer who are just going to sit back and try to farm up. So the action has to come from this trio of the two supports in the mid. They're making their way up top already onto Moo. Already popped the split here.
Oh, Golem dropped. The Topson, he was backing off. They're still going to move in. Skiter, he was a few creeps away from level 6, so he doesn't have the chrono. They could apply some pressure to the tier 1 with the Golem, but Sneyking instead, he will just chase Moo around. And this is also kind of impactful, because Moo, he just can't hit creeps now. Till the Golem disappears, he can't really get back to the creep wave, though Lelis is going to show up. Sneyking, maybe going a bit too far himself, is going to feed a kill away, and Gunner will be the one to take it. It's like Sneyking still trying to abuse the Golem here, just pulling the creep wave away, but ultimately Gunner just going to stun it up and take it down. Plus 100 for the Ogre.
Yeah, it's a nice kill. They also find a pretty big courier. That was Sneyking's boots trying to come in. So, yeah, a little bit of an annoyance for the Warlock. Not the biggest loss in the world. Still a nice kill coming out from Gunner. Something he desperately needed, considering how Topson started to really crush this mid lane matchup. Constantly out of mana. He does have the Soul Ring at the very least on the Ogre Magi, so you're not all doom and gloom. You can play with at least one spell coming through. But it is getting more manageable now for that Invoker, and they are starting to play pretty nicely into that early aggression. I think the one thing is Hector is playing his own game. Like, this is very classic Hector. He's farming. There's no contest on his lane. He's playing with an illusion hero. He's clearing out all the camps very efficiently. Skiter is nowhere near that kind of farm. Again, the Faceless Void is not a fast farmer at all. Still working towards that Midas. This will be the state of the game for a while, although they're making moves mid again.
Yeah, they certainly are. Gunner, he may get chronoed by Skiter. Just secure the kill. They will. There's the Brambles out, though. They can't get the right picks off yet, but the Sunstrike's going to fly in, though. No, Gunner.
Oh,
he
no.
will avoid it. 9. He's going to try and jump in with the Blood Grenade. He didn't have Boulder Smash, though, but now he does, and he will be able to secure the kill onto Gunner eventually. It does cost him his life, but they desperately needed to secure the Ogre kill after committing all their spells, and, well, that they will.
Man, they're slowing Gunner's game down, but the cost from Tundra is massive. Topson's having to walk back home. You forced some movement out from Skiter, so that's time where he's not farming. He didn't even really soak up the AoE gold as well. I believe he was already backed off very far to try to soak anything in. And for Nouns, sure, you're making sacrifices onto Gunner, but the Ogre Magi doesn't need that much farm. Gunner's already just working onto the Blade Nail, and eventually, at some point, he will find a space to try to rush that heart. Whereas you have all the space in the world right now for K1, for Hector. He has Armlet, Echo Saber not too far off, BKB Disassembly is going to be in line for that as well. And for Tundra, I mean, this is still some good activity, but again, like, it feels like the target needs to be changed. Like, if you can hunt down the CK before the BKB, he's still going to be a very manageable target, and they are smoking up to that bot lane now.
They certainly are. I'm looking for a roll in. Does even have the Veil of Discord up as well to amp up all the damage from this Invoker. Yamsun, K1 hanging around. Yamsun actually going through the twin gates. This is not the perfect timing. This is in fact the exact opposite, because K1 now going to be chased down. They'll get the cold snap off. He'll drop the egg. K1, he needs some help, but he's quite a tanky boy. He'll survive for now. The only thing doing damage to him is his own illusion. Now the Golem drop. Still Sneyking, continuing to try and get the kill down, but K1, he heals up through it. Oh, you're joking. They just couldn't kill him. Skiter, he's going to move in and try to salvage the situation, but no chrono available means he's a sitting duck. They'll continue chasing him down, but he will be able to time walk away. His Moo now turning onto 33, but decides better off. It does try to back off, but in comes 9. He'll go onto Yamsun. Tornado will land on the Phoenix into the Magnetize, so Yamsun, he will burn out. In goes Moo, still being chased down by Tundra. They should eventually be able to get this guy, but Moo is still running, still buying time for Gunner to move back in. He's on the Invoker now, but Skiter, he'll have chrono in 10 seconds. They've got to be very careful. Skiter, no, they won't have chrono because Skiter's down. And there goes Topson. The Fire Blast will get it done. 33 trying to run, but Nouns, they will continue the chase. The Surge will wear off. He's got another in 1 second, but the reality of back. 33 will get stunned. He is down. That was a full team wipe, in fact. Sneyking TP back. Lelis, he's got the hand up, but he doesn't have the mana for the Brambles. He can't stun him up. That'll be enough. But Nouns, I don't know how they keep doing it, John. They keep getting away with all these good exchanges.
There are a couple of factors there for Tundra that doesn't work in their favor. Oh my God,
Yeah,
Hector.
He just crits him to
God.
bed. My goodness.
CK, man. Casino night, you can never count out that chaos strike. But Tundra, they forced that fight while the tier 1 is standing. There's a very fast TP point in comparison to the outpost there for Nouns to play with. They managed to get Moo in right in the nick of time with a split. The Sunray healing, we talked about this in draft. These are very big tanky heroes. And Tanya pointed it out as well. The Sunray would sustain true. Sure, the Snicks would burn down. No one was there to focus in on Yamsen. So all of that healing comes through. The Chaos Strike coming through to add a little bit more healing onto K1 as well. It's just too much. You don't have burst.
Yeah.
This is the issue for Tundra. There's no burst play unless you start to really focus in on Chrono, really try to play with like big Chronos and Fatal Bonds into something like Cataclysm or Magnetize, and that didn't come out there. They'll try again though.
They sure will. K1, he's the closest target. That's the one they really want. Yamsun's right behind him. He has egg available again. He'll go for the Sunray first. Make sure K1 does get healed up just a little bit. In goes the Phantasm. In goes the Tornado. K1, can he heal through this? Even with the Spirit Vessel. K1 with the Chaos Meteor should go down. He cannot toggle through it. He will drop as 9 may have to give his own life away, although he is still running a nice surge from 33, giving time for 9 to get his way out. Meanwhile, towards the left gunner, also getting caught out as Tundra, completely smothering Nouns now. We'll find 2 for nothing. As 9, he barely was able to roll away throughout all of that.
That was much better isolation coming out from Tundra. Managed to catch out the CK without as much backup. Moo couldn't instantly pop the Primal Split to try to commit. And you didn't even have Lullis show up at all. Like, he's focusing to farm up top. He's trying to work towards the Midas. I'm keen to see if he's going to go all in for something like the Axe Rush here as maybe a way to scale as your Ogre Magi. It can scale, but it's not scaling linearly with damage, whereas the Dark Willow is a semi-core, can do that job. So they do get really good punishment. It looked decent with the egg save, but just way too much focusing in on Hector without that BKB up. The CK is a lot easier to manage at this moment. Although Hector, again, he's going into the BKB hard anyway. And if you catch these fights without that split, the control of Nouns does fall down. You didn't even have to drag Skiter in with, say, the Chronosphere this time around. So he's able to just sit back and farm while that rotation comes in. Very nice win for Tundra. And that's what we need to see more of. Just these kind of isolation plays while Nouns are trying to play a little bit greedier, especially under supports. It is an Ags Rush for Lullis. So he is trying to scale up his damage and, you know, just use Gunner as more of control and utility here rather than straight out burst on the Ogre Magi.
Bottom lane, pings were coming out towards Moo. They could just stick around and secure the tier 1 bottom tower, because we saw what happened last time they wanted to fight this in this area. They are going to wrap around though. Topson in the Ghost Walk. They have the vision with the Observer Ward, so Moo, he's going to try and go through the Twin Gates. Topson, does he want to try with the Tornado? Not quite, instead they'll make the jump in with the roll. Perfect roll in from 9 as Moo, dropping very, very low, should go down. Still surviving, but the Tornado will be enough. Very, very nice pick off, and with that, they can certainly just go right after the bottom tier 1 tower now.
Yeah, really good timing there. 0.6 seconds left for Moo to get through that gate. Catch him, nick of time, get some good punishment. Again, I don't know if this is going to matter because Lullis is actually going as the core. So you're ganking up these high tanky utility heroes that will still stay tanky as the game goes on. They will eventually find space for at least the Vit booster into the heart. At some points, you're going to get the Phoenix backing you up. I am actually concerned for Lullis getting all of this space. And as insane as that sounds, I mean, he's got the Midas. He's sat up top for free. He is going for the axe. This is going to take quite some time to take off, but once you have Dark Willow Ags with, say, a Witchblade and a Moon Shard, there's some funny stuff that can happen in the game. And this is why I'm really digging Nouns, this Road to the Internationals group stage. Because every draft they pull off somehow is very turbo drafty. This is a different game they're playing, Mike. I don't know if this will pay off, because it'll take a long time for Lullis to get the Ags, but this is a turbo game for them, and I love it.
Yeah. The thing is, you don't want to drag out the game too long, I don't think, a skid on the Void. Obviously, every time we see a Void, we kind of talk about how impactful it's always going to be with the Chrono once it is up. See, Skiter does need quite a bit more farm to get to the stage where he's a real threat, but he's getting there. He's not too far off now, 4th in net worth, climbing up very quickly with the Midas and the Maelstrom build-up. Against that Chrono, you can never count him out. It's a very scary spell to have. Nouns, they are still taking it easy, though. I mean, K1 is still farming fantastically. He has got the BKB now, working on towards the heart. And even Moo's going for his own Radiance build-up as well, and he'll have that up very, very soon. So they are somewhat getting the answers here towards this Void issue they might have very, very soon. But for now, they're more than just happy to just keep this farm going.
Everyone's got a Midas.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's just going for the Midas. You've got a Midas coming out for Gunner, which is probably the most efficient Midas with your multicast, so that's always funny. This is...
I heckin' love this model.
I know. It's an arms race. Good smoke break by Lullis. So no ganks to come out here from Tundra. Very nice position for him to get that done. And again, it's a stall game. It's like you said, we're just building up on Nouns. Tundra probably just feeling confident about scaling, as you mentioned, because of the Faces Void. My one concern is it does put pressure on Skiter to actually start to land some bigger chronos, right? Like, yes, Faces Void is a very hard hero to beat in the late game, arguably one of the best heroes in late game because of Chronosphere. But you have a lot of heroes in the back that you have to take out.
Son. He's desperately trying to survive.
Another victim.
He's all right. He's all right. So K1's sitting there secretly praying for a crit to come, just to finish off the job. Fried chicken for dinner.
We need a tormentor hint on the pause screen for sure. I think just a friendly reminder when it's paused, you ping that for your teammates.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a PSA on the edge. But again, just the stall game. Midas for 9 is up. Midas for Topson. It's Midas gameplay right here, Mike. It's beautiful. This is peak Dota.
It certainly is peak Dota.
1, 2, 3, 6 Midases, man. I don't know how often we've seen that, but I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen 6 Midases in a game.
Can we get 7? Can we make it 7? That's the real question.
I'd want to. Why isn't Yamson building one? You know, it's like, you were a pause one, you want to farm. Yamson, listen to that voice in your head that says, pick Midas, buy Midas, please.
A group up from Tundra now looks like they might secure their own Tormentor. There is going to be a smoke, though. Nouns, they're actually down at the bottom lane. Seems like they want to try and focus the tier 1 tower. Tundra obviously probably won't be able to defend this because they have just gotten very, very low off their own Tormentor. It's a tier 1 bottom tower anyway. It's not the most important. In fact, Nouns, they're the ones to retreat. So it seems like they just do not want to risk getting caught with their pants down. Instead, K1 rushing right towards the Roshan pit. So they might just force a fight here instead, or maybe they'll just get a free Roshan for themselves. Either way, I think Nouns are happy.
Yeah. Like no contest coming out. They're on the opposite side of the map for Tundra. They don't have vision down here. Well, they did have gate vision, but no one really walked by. And they did see the movement through the ramp. They'll just go for the tier 1 tower trade, which is a fair trade-off. Again, as this game goes on, I'm just trying to think how it unfolds for Tundra, how the execution goes. Because you do have area control with Chrono, but the damage has to come from outside.
Oh, Sneyking.
Like, not until...
Bye-bye, Sneyking. Nice to know you, sir. Not much you can do when the Chaos Knight just runs at you.
Radiant's top tower is under
it's one of those things. You're a support in a Chaos Knight game. You get caught out, you're just dead. Yeah, the Sneyking accepts his fate. But yeah, as this game scales on, I don't know if this gets easier necessarily for Tundra. I think it doesn't get necessarily harder, but I don't think it simplifies in the way that you'd expect a Faces Void game to simplify. Again, just because you're hanging on Fatal Bonds, you're hanging on down the line, just ags.
Snap Spirit Vessel is out. Terrorized, though, committed by Lilith onto 9, so they'll try for the Earth Spirit. 9 looking for a way to roll out, but he's just completely blocked off. It will go down as K1 now. He saw Topson. Ghostwalk is out. K1, of course, does not have detection himself, because that's a support's job, Jonathan. And K1, he will not be able to secure a kill onto Topson. He will be able to walk out just fine.
Just get out there in time. Our good old Joel Spirit couldn't roll out. Joel out this time around.
Very
unfortunately for 9. It's 12 to 9. 3K lead. The Midases are paying off quite nicely, I'd say, for now. And so, I mean, it's funny. Lullis has the Midas. He's bottom net word, but again, he is trying to rush Ags, and he's been relatively inactive in this game. And he is still 3 parts away. So again, to ramp up to this hyper carry, super carry Willow is pretty long. Smoke out from Tundra as 3 here.
That's the one they want. They want that mid ogre. Oh, never mind. The K1's there as well. Instead, they are going to move on to Gunner. That's the one they see. Skiter, he'll hold on to the chrono for now. Gunner, he just could not sustain himself through that damage output. In comes K1. He's got that Aegis up. There goes the egg. Skiter, he's actually going to chrono the egg and try to go for it in zone, but he can't do it. The chrono does not help against the egg, Skiter.
No.
Sometimes you just got to mash your buttons, John. You know? Sometimes you just press all the buttons, see what happens. No. Continuing for more, seeing the opportunity, he'll chase down Topson, but they don't have the detection.
That's a bit dicey for Tundra. I mean, finding that kill in Gunner is all well and good, but losing your Void in exchange I don't think is that worthwhile. And the Ogre Magi is not the big issue here. And Gunner doesn't even care. He's always just going to get the gold back with multiple Midas uses anyway.
Yeah.
His heart is not too far off. He has the full Reaver, so he has that strength added onto him. They see 9.
Yeah, they certainly do. 9 gonna do the old Joel away, but 9 certainly in danger now as K1 will just chase him down. Still rolling. Yamson, he'll keep up the vision. 9, I mean, at least is buying plenty of time for his team, but eventually we'll get Yule stuff mid-roll. Does get cancelled, and K1 will secure himself his 7th kill of the game as the Chaos Knight. Top.
Lellis.
I mean, Lellis playing with fire. He's the only guy with a dust right now, so he's got to be near the Invoker. you know these core players, John. They don't buy dust. Not their job. That's what they told me anyway.
I mean, well, Moo's a responsible one. He has dust.
Oh, good on him.
There you go.
God bless it.
Moo the base Chad, of course, still rocking that offlane Witch Doctor, rocking out in his Brewmaster, going for that Manta next. Just have a Dispel on hand, and again, Tundra, I don't think this lineup is finding its mid-game timing in the way it wants to, right? Because now you've got one initial heart in K1, so Hector has all this HP in the world. You've got Gunner's Heart, again, just lacking the recipe now. You've got this durability with a Radiance up for Moo. Like, how do you play the burst game in Chrono? Because you are nowhere near something like the Ags and Topson. He's not even queuing it up. We haven't seen big fatal bonds coming out in these Chronos. Nouns have been very disciplined to stay as split apart as they could possibly be to force Skiter to look for these really awkward Chronos. And they're just playing this game. Like, even though these fights end up being 1-for-1s, Nouns wins out. They're farming, they're building up this arms race. There's some commitment down bot, but not too hard. And I know, like, I'm just really concerned. Lullis, is that his full eggs ready to go? He's not queuing it up anymore. He's flying out. I think that is the Willow Ags.
Beautiful.
He's just waiting for the last item. Yeah, he's waiting for the boosters.
He needs the gold for it. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit more. I mean, he even has the Philostone. So you're gonna have Dark Willow Ags with a Shadow Realm. This is a turbo game, dude. Mid Ogre Magi, a support Willow that goes Midas. Now have they done their scrims on turbo? Is that it? It's working.
Be very careful up there, so Nouns are not going to have too much of an idea the Void is well, they do, because there is an Observer Ward watching Skiter right now, but do they have a smoke? Do they have a way of getting there? The Yamsun does have a smoke available if they want to make the rotation up. So they're going to walk the old-fashioned way, see if they can sneak up behind Skiter, but it seems like Skiter will back his way to the base, so he's going to be just fine. Rest of Tundra currently down at the bottom lane, trying to apply that pressure. Mu is around to D-push here, as they are going to try and make the jump in. Mu is still a very, very tanky target. He will be forced to pop the Primal Split, though. So they do at least get a big spell used up here from the side of Nouns. It seems as though Mu is not really going to be able to capitalize, though. He might still find 9. Just chasing him with the Storm Panda, but no. 9 is okay. K1?
I don't think you mind.
Well, K1 was being pinged out. He has to run.
They're just farming. You don't mind that usage of the split, honestly, because you're not really looking to fight into Tundra anyway. You don't want to give them that opportunity to get that chrono, to get that wombo combo they're looking for with chrono vac wall. They will smoke up once more in Tundra. The pressure's on them. They've got this timing that can still deal with some of the durability on the side of Nouns. They do pop that smoke with Skiter clearing out illusions. So that's information for Nouns to back off, and they've gone to the sides of the map. They get the scan off on the triangle. They're going to be safe. They might even set up here for stragglers.
Sneyking's trying to get some deep vision down, and he will get some vision down around the jungle of that Radiant, the Radiant Triangle, that is. K1 could run right into Tundra. He's even deeper. Snaking's going to scout him out. Going to go for the TP play out, but Sneyking, he'll drop the golem. Does want the TP cancel. Obviously worth it if he can get the kill onto the Brewmaster. Surely no way out of this one, as he does get caught by the stun of 9, and he is certainly down. Very nice pick up there, thanks to Sneyking.
Yeah, it is one big tool taken away from Nouns for this follow-up fight. They are smoked up behind. Looks like they might be willing to actually take that follow-up fight. I mean, they've got all their spells ready, but they'll play it safe. Heart done on Hector, as mentioned. Heart done on Gunner. 3.6k HP on the Yogur. 3.8k on the CK. You do at least have a full Mjolnir on Skiter, so it's a little bit more magic damage coming through here. But again, Nouns don't seem to care. They just want to farm. That's the Ags money for Lilith. So it's fun times are about to begin. It's not quite insanity yet with the Dark Willow. You need some attack speed acceleration, but we're getting there.
They found K1. K1, he's on the cliff. Rift is back though, 9. He will be able to get K1 back down thanks to the reality Rift is 9. Does BKB roll back in onto K1? Trying to give an opportunity for Skiter to get a nice chrono off, but it never comes. You get a BKB forced out from K1, but that's really about it.
Has been killed.
Ooh, not a good courier to lose there.
Uh-oh.
For Lilith.
That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. He does not have the Axe for 2 minutes 20 seconds now.
Yeah, which means for now, they're going to have to just play farming again for two and a half more minutes. That will give Lilith some time to try to work onto his next item, I suppose. So it's not all too shabby here for the Dark Willow. But it is more breeding room for Tundra to also play this farm game. They're not winning the farming game, though. You're still 5k up in Nouns. You're at parity with every other core but Hector, but parity is not really the point you'd want to be here, I don't think, for Tundra. So it's an awkward game where you're just waiting for the the tension to release. And I still haven't, we still don't have the tools on Tundra to really look for a burst play. So in these prolonged fights, the important target to go for is actually going to be Yamsen. You have to take care of that Phoenix, you have to take care of the Sunray of the Egg, which can get that, the fight's clean up. They are rushing down bot onto Roche. They've got an idea
They've
here.
got a bit of time. They have got time to move in. Skiter, he's trying to rush there. 33 will do the same. Roshan, it is just about to drop 9. He jumps in, but no Gunner. He's got the Aegis. 9 in danger. Skiter, he'll get the chrono on 2.
You can't kill him.
They're going to go into K1, but K1, he is perfectly fine with the Sunray right behind him. He is going to be able to survive. Gunner now, moving back in. He's got a secondary life and a cheese as well that he just eats immediately. His 33 is forced to BKB and just TP away, but they left Skiter. They left their POS 1 behind.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's so much pressure on Tundra to try and take the Aegis away from them, but it cost them so much and they don't even get it.
There's just no damage. Like, Skiter gets a decent enough chrono onto 2, but as we just said, Yamsen's in the back, Sunray's going off on these high HP heroes. You can't out-damage
Too
it.
much.
Where's the burst? Where's the output? It has to come in with Fatal Bonds and something like Cataclysm, but Topson's not queuing up the Ags. He's going for the Octarine for spell spam. There's no follow-up, no clear follow-up in that chrono yet. It's just not there.
It certainly is not, and now, the Tormentor will be taken from the dire end, so Lilith will be able to get a free shards for himself. Yeah, you got no Ags, but at least you get a free shards. Ags is back up in 10 seconds as well for Lilith, as his courier will respawn in 5 seconds from now, and Tundra, 13k behind. They're the ones that need to find a way back into this game. What is it, John? What are you laughing about now?
No, I'm just laughing because Lilith has enough money to just buy one Hyperstone.
Lovely.
You know, it's like, yeah, we're getting to that point. This is where the fun truly begins here. For good old Lillis. If he wanted to, he does buy something else, so he's a little bit bigger brain. Not as he knows he's not in the turbo match.
Yeah.
And we shall see. There's that Ags. Man, it's so funny with Dark Willow. You look at her talents, Mike. It's like they want you to build her as a carry.
You know the frog,
right?
You know the frog. He definitely wants it to happen.
Oh, goodness.
I was going to say as well, I was looking at Dota Plus. The game is still relatively close between these two teams. Nouns currently is 60% their way. It was actually 59% in Tundra's way just a minute ago before that last Roshan fight. But now Nouns, at least 60% chance of them winning according to Dota Plus.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think there's this big play potential from Tundra. They just need to execute. Ideally, your initiation has to be back wall into Chrono with Fatal Bonds.
Moo's just taking T3 on his own. This is classic Brewmaster gameplay right here. Look at that. What do you do about this? Are you sure you can deal with the Brewlings all you want? He's just fine to take a T3 tower for nothing. No problem.
Yeah. Just like that.
I'll be back in 80 seconds.
Yeah, it's you don't have anything to clear the Brewlings. You have Fatal Bonds, but you don't really have big AoE damage. You know, nothing like Medusa. Nothing like a Luna on hand to kind of just help you clear that out, or a Gyro. You've got to face his Void. So you just kind of have to accept it. I do like that 9 is trying to go for the Ags. I think that is one way to try to break up these fights from Nouns. Just try to reposition, pull someone back, or try to save your cores if the initiation comes from Nouns first. But it doesn't even feel like Nouns are trying to initiate, right? Like, all of these fights are Tundra fighting into Nouns. Nouns aren't making any big moves themselves. They haven't made any big moves outside of a couple of smoke ganks. Like, it's mainly been responses to Tundra. That's what most of these big 5v5s have been all about. And they've been winning those fights that Tundra tried to start. So I don't know if the offensive potential of the Ags is going to be that big on 9 once he finds the gold. And I don't know if the defensive potential is going to be that amazing either. I think the Shivas coming out from 33 is big, but hasn't really done much.
Skitter's very deep. Do they know? Oh, they know! He ran on the vision! They know exactly where he's gone! Skitter, be very careful!
Boy.
He'll time walk BKB. Oh, goodness. That was a little bit frightening. Nice observable to try and scout that out as well. I'm not sure who placed it. I imagine Yamson did, but very, very nice.
Yep. Now just getting some deep vision.
It was Yamson.
Knowing that. Yeah, they're trying to find. They know that Tundra is going to try to do a couple of flank moves. And now they got the smoke. They know BKB's down in Skitter. He's not going to be comfy in those Chronos. They can try to get something done here. Lillis is queuing up a new chart. Let's go. Let's go.
No, why not? It's the way to play it. It's the way the Frog would want, John. Here you go, Tundra. They've got Primal Split back up. They've got an Octarine core on Moo. Do they want to do the old split and just take racks? I think they may. And there we go. Moo will just pop preemptively. K1 moves into boot. There are not too many buybacks available right now. It's only 9 that has one available on Tundra. Now Topson has his own buyback gold, so he'll be able to buy back if necessary, but it doesn't seem like Nouns are looking to commit too hard anyway. They're just letting Moo do the work, K1 doing the work down at the bottom tier 3 tower with the Phantasm Illusions, and Tundra, well, they're just not able to deal with it so far. They'll kick back Gunner into the tier 4s, but he just casually walks out.
There's no damage.
He's got 4.5k HP. So what are you going to do? The Ogre just walks out casually.
There's no damage. There's no output. Skitter is going for more stats. He's got the Scotty to, again, mitigate some of that healing from the Sunray, but the damage is just not there. It has to come out. I really feel like it has to come out from Topson somehow. As cheesy as Cataclysm Reliance sounds, it does feel like that probably is your safest route in terms of straightforward combinations. Otherwise, you're talking about dancing around, trying to play with Fatal Bonds, trying to reposition heroes with the Earth Spirit, and I mean, they're just way too durable. It reminds me of that series where we saw Nouns again play this high durability lineup. You know, we were seeing Primal Beast, we were seeing Spirit Breaker, and just really tanky cores. That was the Gunner's Ogre Magi game. Like, they just don't die. And again, there's no burst in this lineup at all. There's no big steroid skill on their cores. You know, you don't have an innate crit. There's just no source of high scaling damage. There's a lot of control. There's a lot of BKB piercing control with Chrono and the Golem, but there's no follow-up for it yet.
Topson showing down at bottom lane. Moo is right around the corner. He's got split up available again. He will not make the jump in, but the rest of Nouns, they are moving down towards Topson. Thing is, Topson, realizing he's shown himself, just TP's back towards his team. Cannot really afford to give any free kills away to Nouns right now, because obviously it just feels like it means a free racks. If you do give your life away, and if you've got no buyback, that might actually just be Megas.
Radiant's top tower is under
Bottom
attack.
lane, K1. Looking to start moving on to the bottom T3 tower once again. Moo, he's got the primal split, and here we go. Nice and safe. You might not like it, but this is for an upper bracket start at the main event. And this is Nouns, and nobody's expecting Nouns to win this against Tundra 2-0. But so far, they are looking like they might just do it.
Yeah.
Roll in, 9. He's going to try with the axe to kick back Gunner. That's a very far kickback. But Gunner is so tanky. Where's the damage? Here comes the Sunray. They got to run. They know they don't have the damage through that. Meanwhile, K1, he's dealing with the T3 top tower. He already got it. He got the melee barracks. It's only the range barracks left for Megas. Nouns, one step closer. As 9 does go down on the Earth Spirit, I think they can go. There's only 4 up on Tundra. Sight the Vice on Gunner. They're so close. They are so close now.
Yeah, this is where peak balance kicks in. Multicast, Sight of Vice. That's where you really start to feel it. And the side of now, it's they've just danced around Tundra. You know, looking back at that interview Mew gave, he's like, you know, it's fun to know that you're playing with humans. This is definitely a very humane gameplay, because it's not a draft that you'd expect at TI. It's not, you know, 3 Midases on Nouns side is not what you'd expect. It's paying off. And I don't know if we've even seen Lelis use Shadow Realm with the Ags. It doesn't even matter.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. What does matter, though, is whether the Tundra can fight back here in this game, too. It is a best-of-3 series. They still have a chance of forcing those to a game 3, but K1, he's looking to move in. He saw Topson. They'd love the Invoker. He jumps, but a quick tornado. Topson going to put him back up in the air. K1, he's surrounded. He gets kicked back. The mana, it's all gone. K1!
The racks are gone.
K1 is gone, but they get the Megas. They have got the Megas up here on the side of Nouns. They just need to run out of there. Everyone needs to get out. Skiter, he'll pop the Chrono. He found 2 targets. He's got Gunner. He's got Yamsun. Yamsun will go down. Gunner, he's the tankier target. He'll go for a run, but surely no way out, as they will disable after the BKB. And they will punish successfully, but they are now up against Mega Crips.
Yeah, their lineup can manage to clear out, so it's not going to be as painful, but reaching outside their base now is going to be a tall order. And 9 is keeping track of Lelis here.
They want everything they can get.
Blinks up.
He's still going, but
I don't know if you can find him.
He's got no boulders. He's only got 1, so it's probably not worth trying.
We've got a Midas for Sneyking now as well.
There you go, number 7.
So, yeah, we're I just want everyone to have Midas. I just want this to be a turbo game. Pretty much is. Lelis just needs that full moon shard up, and then we're gonna have a very fun time here. Roshan is ready to be taken by either side. Rosh number 3 with a free Ags. So a big one for either side to find. The Tundra needs this Rosh. They want to be able to come in. Like a free Ags up for Topson fixes a lot of those damage issues. You can start to confidently take team fights with a Chrono, even without Fatal Bonds. Just Cataclysm alone will provide you some good damage to play with, to soften up these high-strength heroes. We'll see. They'll get the room to get that done. The side of Nouns are starting to clump up as well. We've got the full AC up on Moo. They're smoked up here.
Oh, Topson right behind them. Topson, he's actually going to reveal himself for a second, but they don't have the vision. They will miss out just barely. They are just focused on 9 at the moment, just tunnel vision on the Earth Spirit. They'll see him eventually, but 9 will be able to roll away. Instead, K1, he wants the Roshan. Screw the heroes, take the Aegis, Ag's Blessing as well. Even a cheese available. I wonder who takes what. Who wants the Ags? I think it might be Gunner. And it will be. So you've got the unrefined Fire Blast now. This is a lot of fun.
Oh my god. This is silly. This is truly silly. It'll smoke up again. So much output coming from now, and it's going to take the gate. A hell lot of damage. I'm just waiting for Lullis, man. This Moonshard gets me excited.
Yeah, we might just not see it though. That's the thing. Like the 21k ahead, they've got megas. Funniest thing is though, Tundra, they still are being given a 21% chance of winning, which I don't necessarily disagree with. It is still Tundra. It is a refresher orb skiter. You know, a couple good chronos could change the game entirely.
Yeah, Nouns have to close it out, right? The pressure is on Nouns for this advantage. They can't afford to get too cocky. They'll get the split off onto Moo.
They just bloodlust all the
this is the gameplay.
Rush a bit. I mean, now they can play this super safely, and that's exactly what they'll do. Well, with the bloodlusted Brulings, you can't do anything about it. They just hit too hard and too fast. Roll, Gunner. Was scouted by 9 for a second. K1, he is in clear vision. Reality of Thought to 33 will force a BKB up, but they'll drop the wall on K1. Skiter trying to move in. Chrono, it's committed. They found Yamsun this time. There'll be no Phoenix already coming. No, here's an Aeon Disc. A double Chrono just for the Phoenix to go down. Now he's on a K1. Yamsun, though, he has fought back. He'll come back into the fight. Darksea, the 33 Darksea, dropping very low as Gunner chasing him down along with K1. Gets the Fire Blast off. It's not enough, though. Gunner, he's dropping so darn low to Skiter, and he might just be gone. Are they defending? Moo dropping very low himself on the Brewmaster. Needs a way out. K1 is still going though. He'll move in onto 9 on the Earth Spirit, but K1 dropping low to Snaking's Golems. He'll go down the first time, but he does have the Aegis. We'll go again. Round number 2. They're fighting without Gunner. They don't have their mid-ogre, they want to retreat, but Topson's on the chase. So is Skiter, and they love K1, but K1 will run instead. They'll find Moo on that Brewmaster. The Tornado will land, so they should have their way with him. Moo will try to run. In comes Yamsun. Keep in mind, Yamsun did just buy back, so they could try for a dieback immediately. But it seems like everyone else is out. Still very nice punishment from Tundra. The Nouns, they are trying their absolute best, but maybe they do have to rely on this primal split, just rat gameplay.
It does feel that way. Hector played really confidently with the Aegis up, but that did drag the rest of his team. It's also a little unfortunate that all that breaks up because Yamsun was caught in Chrono twice. He was very close to Hector, maybe a little bit too close for comfort to that CK and trying to sustain him. And the punishment is severe. That is double Chrono. Refresh is going to be a minute 20 down, so you have an opening here for Nouns and Respawn. You do have room to start, again, going into these other items now for your supports. Like, you almost have something like the Wind Waker coming out here for Yamsun. You've almost got the... Again, you've got the Moonshard money here for Lullis as well, and his damage output's starting to feel ridiculous with Shadow Realm, with the way it is right now with his level 20 talent, so... The game is still tough for Tundra. They have to rely on Skiter. Like, again, if he keeps finding Chronos like that, if you find Yamsun, really, that's the big hero. If you find this Phoenix in the back line, you take away a lot of the sustain that's keeping these high tanky heroes alive on Nouns side.
Absolutely. It really is all about the Phoenix, isn't it? Topson. Topson. They have got themselves a big fish here, John. Topson is down, but he does have buyback available. 33 actually around the corner. Yamsun. Spidey senses tingling, but he will not find him. Still, they might just be able to force a buyback from this Invoker immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 1 tier 4 left. The high ground's starting to get really empty for Tundra. And now they've got everything to play with. Lullis, is he going to buy out? Nah. He's playing it safe, wants to keep that buyback, which is fair. 500 gold to have the surplus to buy out that full Moonshard. But think about it. Once you have Moonshard, Dark Willow with Shadow Realm, she's just going to hit those objectives. She's not going to care. That's another way to rat this out.
Keep in mind, 33, he's got the Axe up now. So you've got the normal punch. So you've got multiple illusions. You can take a K1, though. 33, he does get caught. Golem is dropped. They're going to try and fight. Chrono is out, but they miss out on Yamsun. He'll drop the egg. He'll keep going with the Sunray. The Chrono, it does nothing. Skiter, he at least gets the kill on the Phoenix, and now the double Chrono, but it's his own team. It's his own team. 9 kick K1 away. K1. He's going to get 33, but K1's too deep now. K1's too deep. Skiter will chase him down. Meanwhile, the Ancient completely exposed Gunner. He was trying to go for it. Lullis will do it too. Moo still trying with the Brewmaster, but he's out of the primal split. He needs to run. This is not the time, boys. They'll get out of there. Meanwhile, K1, he does find 9 on the Earth Spirit, but do they keep going? It's 3v2. It is 3v2 Nouns. They have an ancient exposed. They could do it. Skiter cannot afford to get caught. He'll time walk forward. K1, he'll jump in with the stun, but no rift yet. There it is. They've got Skiter. Silent stop. Damage down. But he's got buyback available. He can come back into this fight. Nouns. Half HP on the Ancient for an upper bracket position for the main event. There's your buyback from Skiter. It's Topson and Skiter versus the three of Nouns. And in goes K1. He found Skiter already. Terrorize does land Skiter. He should be gone. And now the Ancient is completely surrounded, completely exposed. It's up to Topson, but the GG's called.
GG.
The GG is called. Nouns have done it.
did it.
Nouns have done it. A 2-0 up against Tundra.